Deputy Secretary Grinley Johnson here, your I-66 commuter advocate. Today we're in the Northern Virginia VDOT District Office to talk with Kate Mattice, the Executive Director of the Northern Virginia Transit Commission. Today we're going to be talking about travel choices in TDM on I-66, the new transit enhancements to the area, and tolling revenues benefit the region. Let's see what Kate has to say about I-66.
This is really, that project, just like the tolling part, is all about moving more people reliably through that corridor. So what we're doing through NVTC is providing more options so that people have the choice. They can absolutely go ahead and take a toll, they can carpool, or they can take advantage of all of these different transit options that we're going to be able to provide through our program.
Choice is critical because if you know what's going on, you can plan your ride. Absolutely. And we always spend a lot of time talking about cars and moving cars down the road, but we don't spend enough time on transit. So tell me, we use the term TDM. What is TDM?
TDM stands for Transportation Demand Management. This is basically providing opportunities, things like incentives or helping people get their fares paid for on transit, or even providing information so they know there are travel options. So it actually covers a whole wide range of things, but really is about managing that travel, as the name implies, so that there are things that are opportunities for people to take choices. They can take a bus, they can take a metro, they can walk, they can bike, or yes, they can take their car.
So how will this have an impact on I-66?
Our program right now is very much focused on moving more people through the corridor. So what we funded are things that are specifically, in fact, there was a competition and we used performance measures and what have you, which projects can move the most people through that corridor. And so we found that with just this initial 10 projects that we're funding, we could move 5,000 people through the corridor more than if they were in single cars. And I think when you look and see how you can very effectively move folks through the corridor on things like Metro Rail or commuter buses or regular buses, it's really quite remarkable how many more people you can fit through so that those folks who need to take their cars can actually do that more reliably.
I've found that millennials, my colleague is a millennial, and he's taught me that I need to use Uber and Lyft, and when I'm in DC or in Northern Virginia, I should use the Metro. So the tendency is that the younger folks are not depending on cars. So to me, that is why transit is so important.
Transit's also really important to folks who want to, when they look to retire and they'd like to downsize, and they don't have to worry about having a car. So I think there's really a multi-generational effect and benefit for transit. We're funding an expansion and actually an extra bus that's going to run along Lee Highway on the ART Route 55 in Arlington County. We're going to help consolidate and improve access to transit bus stops all the way through Arlington County, a whole number of different routes there. We're funding new commuter service from Gainesville all the way to the Pentagon. We're helping expand the TDM outreach along the I-66 corridor for all of the businesses and people that live in Arlington. We're expanding transit access to the Metro in Falls Church through Capital Bike Share. We're helping residents of Loudoun County find more transit options through a TDM program funding. We're funding multimodal real-time transit information screens throughout businesses and residences in Arlington County. So these are a few of the examples of the investments we'll be able to make with this initial round of funding.
So all the money that's collected on the 66 corridor stays in the Northern Virginia region?
Well, absolutely, and this again is something a part of our agreement with VDOT. And so VDOT is actually, they need to make sure they can take care of all the costs associated with having those tolls and managing those tolls, but they've made a commitment to NVTC to provide some resources to fund this transit, again, for the next 40 years.
Well, thank you very much, Kate.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to share our story with you.